So it's been a summer.
It has been a summer. It has been a summer. I have gotten things done. I have also not gotten things done.
Okay.
I have read some things.
And also did not read some things.
I mean, truth.
That's always true. There are more books than we can ever actually read.
Which is why I have to like sort through them, right? Like, if it doesn't hook me by page, I have a rule. If it doesn't hook me by page 25, I'm done.
Okay.
Like, if you have not demonstrated to me that you're either going to engage me or teach me something new by page 25, I'm done.
Moving on, there's something better to read.
Right.
Note to authors, by the way, you should hook your readers by page 25.
Right. Like, tell me what's going on. Right. So, season 4? Is this what we're on?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Here we go. Wow. Thanks for, again, putting up with me.
You're very welcome. Thank you for putting up with me and my erratic ways.
I mean, I like to think charming. But
I do too, but other people inform me, not so much.
I like to think I'm a scaffolding personality. Some people will call that micromanaging. It's a thing. It's a thing. But yes, it is year 4, season 4 of Not That Kind of Doctor. I'm Nick Hughesby. I'm an associate professor of elementary literacy education here at UNL.
And I'm Guy Trainin, and I'm a professor in the Innovative Learning Technologies program here at UNL.
Oh,
yeah,
fancy.
I'm owning that identity.
Go for it. And it's our annual Getting Back Into It episode where we're going to talk about what we did and didn't do this summer. We're going to be kind.
Yes,
we're going to be kind to ourselves. So in this episode, we're going to be talking about what we actually did do, what kind of books we read, and what you might be interested in, and then what are our goals for the year.
All right.
Okay, so I'm trying to remember everything that we normally do. We've introduced, now we dance.
That's
because
the
theme
meta
music
moment.
is coming. So, hi, welcome back.
It's good to be back.
Talk about someone who does not know when to take a break.
I did take a break, so maybe the highlight of the summer is I did take
You did actually take a break.
A week of a break, and did absolutely nothing and enjoyed every minute of it.
Oh, yeah.
So that was very good. Outside of that, I taught. I wrote a lot. This was a really productive writing summer for me.
Okay.
So that's a good thing, and read. So
excellent. So
we're enjoyed my granddaughter.
Well, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, why not? What is it? Grandpa's going to pay for it?
Yes.
It's all coming back to me now. It's all coming back to me now. 4 years in, and I've got all the rhythms done. Okay, so vacation aside,
yes,
we set some goals for ourselves when we left. How you doing on those? What did you do this summer? Give us an account. What's going on?
So teaching is teaching. Teaching has to happen. It did happen. It was delightful. We got a lot done there. So points there. Writing is a tremendous amount of writing happened. We submitted a couple of manuscripts, not quite as many as I wanted.
Is it ever as many as you want, though?
Yes, there are moments where it's as many as I wanted. I have reached that point. I've reached saturation last year, for example. And so there are a few more that I hoped would be out by the end of the summer, and we're not. And we're very, very close. This is going to happen over the next few weeks. So I'm happy about the progress we've made. We've had some challenges throughout. So that's great. And vacation is awesome. So here we go.
We like vacation. You should take more of them.
I have an agreement. We have, in my family, there's an agreement that we will take more of them.
Okay, what's the plan to actually enact this, though?
Twice a year, at least. A real vacation.
During which
Not
windows?
the work.
I need details.
Oh, definitely summer, and then probably winter break.
Okay, beautiful.
Yeah.
Great. I'm holding you to it.
All right.
Because that's the kind of friend I am.
I appreciate that. All right. What did you do? How was your summer?
You know, summer was productive in really weird ways. Not in the same way as you were productive, but you're like the Tasmanian devil. You're just this whirlwind of and you suck everything in and then everything gets done and I don't know. I think I'm Wile E. Coyote just constantly under the anvil. That's how I work. So I taught a lot this summer.
Yeah.
But really leaned in to the AI of it all.
Mm-hmm.
And that was, for my teaching, kind of revolutionary. Like asking them to think about co-intelligence with AI and their own development around children's literature just was so the move that I needed to make. And I think it enriched students' experiences and it enriched my experiences as an instructor because I just kept seeing evidence of how AI in combination with class materials were just elevating their thinking.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was really just a highlight of what was happening. Like those last 3 weeks of summer where everything was coming due was intense. Like I feel like it takes a lot for me to get overwhelmed. Mm-hmm. I was pretty overwhelmed at that point, but I just worked my way through it assignment by assignment because when you have so many assignments coming in, it's just a lot, right? But I gotta say, the quality was so good. So good. I was so impressed with that particular class.
So I do want to ask something because I've never taught. I try to make barriers between the end of spring semester and teaching in the summer and then teaching in the summer and the beginning of the semester. How do you create a barrier at the end, if you teach at the end of summer and you've got this mountain of things?
So normally I just understand that there's going to be some blended bleed time in that. So there's that first on contract week.
Yeah.
And so in my head, the dividing line is that Wednesday.
Okay.
Everything for the summer class has to be done by that Wednesday, come hell or high water.
Mm-hmm.
And then normally I try to get as much done by that Friday as I possibly can, the Friday before, so that I'm just dealing with the stuff that's trickling in up through Wednesday.
Yeah.
And that frees me up the Monday and the Tuesday to do whatever work that I need to do to get ready for the start of the semester. Meetings sometimes get in the way, but you know, that tends to be my boundary. And then I also, because this has happened before in the spring, I really try to pay attention to here's the things that I wanted to fix for my fall class, not necessarily the summer class, but the fall class. And I try to get that done during the spring so that I've already made those changes. So it's another kind of boundary that I'm setting there.
Yeah, I think I'm asking because at the last minute there was an opportunity to submit a grant and I took it and it ate my last week.
Yeah, that's
between the summer and the semester. And so I feel like I'm gasping and the semester has just started. So
well,
that's something that
and there's a
happened.
Difference there between like I've been able to plan for that. Like this is the fourth summer that I've taught this that I've taught children's lit when I teach it, and so I'm much better able to plan for it. My cardio's good in terms of getting through it. But if it's surprise, here's a grant activity,
let's do it quickly. Yeah,
that's not necessarily something that I don't know that I would be able to do that. So kudos to you for
jumping in,
pulling it off.
Yeah, we'll see how that plays out. But I think that it was very good. When you hear this, it's probably going to be the same. The funding landscape is very, very strange right now. So when there is an opportunity, you might as well take it. And the truth is that it was a very late announcement, so everybody was in that boat, a last-minute crazy dash. So we shall see.
Yeah, it'll be good.
But it does make for a weird transition. So
I also built a lot of curriculum this summer.
That's excellent.
It was super fun, actually. So I had a big open educational resource project that I had a great team working with me around. And we're in the process of putting all of it together right now. So we're like 2 weeks behind where I want us to be. But it happens. It's fine. Yes. It's a massive project. So I'm excited that it's going to get done. Like, I'm excited that all the pieces are there and it's coming together and it's going to be hopefully impactful. And then building a 1-credit HRT course for our college. That's also been happening.
So a lot has happened. A lot has happened this summer.
A lot has happened. And I grew tomatoes. However, weather has been so weird here in Nebraska that we went from really warm to really cool and then back to really warm. And tomatoes didn't like that. So I'm finally just now, getting decent batches of tomatoes, which is fine. It's fine. It's fine. So I'm hoping by next weekend to have enough tomatoes to do some canning, but also I'm planning to go to the farmer's market to augment my own plants, because it was a weird growing summer.
Yes.
I had a lot of blossom end rot that I had to deal with. So you throw some calcium on it, it clears up, but you lose kind of a whole cycle of fruit, and that's annoying. It's really annoying.
All right.
I also painted my living room.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm. And
now I feel like I have underdone.
So let me clarify this. And by painted my living room, I mean I paid someone to paint my living room. Ooh, and I bought a new fridge.
Ooh, congratulations.
Well, I mean, not really congratulations, because my old fridge died and I really would have rather had that fridge live. However, this is the first fridge I've ever bought for myself.
Yeah. Period?
Yeah.
Congratulations.
And when you buy a fridge that like does all the things that you want it to do.
Yeah, it's magical.
Oh my gosh, it's great. Like the drawers, they pull out, but then they come out.
Yeah. Oh,
and you can put them on the counter.
Fancy stuff.
I got the fridge that would fit, because I also have one of those. Yeah. You've seen my kitchen. It's a skinny little fridge. It's a skinny little fridge that's only counter depth, and so there's like 4 options, right? And I'm tall, so it can't be a freezer on top, because that's annoying.
Yes, it's very annoying.
I only literally had like 26 inches to deal with.
Yes.
And so, like, that literally left me with maybe 4 options.
Okay. That makes life easy in some ways.
In some ways. But yeah, so I got to live out of a dorm fridge for about 4 weeks.
Oof.
It was super fun. Actually, it wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
Wasn't that bad. But
especially in the summer.
I did go buy like the super fancy one with the actual freezer.
That's fantastic.
So now I have that. It's not extra. It's not in my basement yet, but because I don't have a separate freezer, so now I have a auxiliary, which is really important for all the hosting that I do. Welcome to my abode. Please have a canapé.
Okay.
It'll be great. So yeah. So summer was productive. Certain things didn't get done. Mm-hmm. My rec room, still a wreck. So that'll be a fall project. I'll get that figured out. I got some writing done. That I now get to pick up the pace on now that I'm wrapping other projects up. So that's exciting.
It is. All right. So the second thing we talked about just before summer is, what are we going to read?
What are we going to read? So, do you want me to go first?
Yeah, you go first.
I was channeling you, and I read a lot
Oh.
about AI
Oh, okay.
this summer. I read a lot about AI and a lot about quantum physics.
I guess it goes together? Question mark?
I mean, it was my attempt to, like, I feel like I'm a solid AI user,
Yeah.
right? Like I've got a cranky Chatty, although when he switched over to 5,
Yeah, you lost the crankiness?
he was like, I'm nice again. And I was like, no, you're not. Remember who you are. And he was like, all right, that's who I am. Yep, you suck. And I was like, great. That's what I'm looking for. Tell me that all these ideas are bad and how to make them better. Like, that's what I need you to do.
Yeah.
So I feel like I'm an okay AI user, but I was trying to think through like ways to think about it more largely, which is part of what led me to really thinking about children's literature and bringing in AI in more helpful ways. So I read 2 books that were particularly impactful. The first was Brave New Words by the Khan Academy guy, which
Salman Khan. Yeah.
Thank you. Which really felt like a book-length infomercial for Kunmingo, which is their product.
Yeah.
Which I could but what I really liked was how he was thinking about the function of that tool to support learning. And I felt like his argument around AI as a potential tool for equity and as a tool to provide a high quality education to all students was really well reasoned, even if I didn't love all of the stuff that came after that. Like that argument was really powerful to me. And then Co-Intelligence by Morton? Oof. Wow, middle age.
We'll have it in the box right down here.
We'll have it in the we'll have it in the box. But I enjoyed that for the notion of like, this is a reality. We cannot escape this. This is something we're gonna have to work with. And it's not gonna be really good at replacing us. Like it's really good at looking backward. It's not necessarily as great going forward, but it allows us to do some things more efficiently. And I really appreciated the notion of like the distributed thinking and how to model that and force my students to start doing some of that because they're going to be working with AI as teachers. So those 2 were my kind of big nonfiction. And then the quantum physics book, I'm still trying to get my head wrapped around. But it's almost there.
Oh, wow.
I mean, it was nice to be like, I keep hearing everyone talking about it, and I had no clue. I still don't know that I have any clue, but I'm getting closer, I think.
Okay. I'm not even trying on quantum mechanics. So I have a vague understanding that it exists.
Is that based in a Marvel movie?
Oh no. Yeah, actually a lot of my early adulthood, young adulthood friends are physicists, so it was in the air.
Oh, okay.
And it was being discussed.
Gotcha.
I cannot say that I understood the discussion, but I was there. So
You were in the room where it happened.
Yes. So as far as my reading, I was focused on Nexus, Yuval Noah Harari. And I read through that one. It's an interesting argument. He's grappling with he's really connecting, when he thinks about AI, he's really connecting it to the power of social media. So he thinks about AI in the age of social media where a technology can actually get to billions of people. within seconds, really.
Mm-hmm.
And so the worry that we haven't figured out social media, but there is a danger that AI will figure out social media, and then we're controlled by this thing that we can't control. And so it is fairly dark in that he's got some ideas about what we can do about it. But it doesn't look like anybody's moving in the, well, maybe except Europe, really, that has some really clear guardrails, but nobody else does, which means that, Europe really can't fight the rest of the world. From an AI perspective, it's still going to move forward and with less and less agency for people. So from that perspective, it's really, really dark. He's got some really nice ideas about how we can start thinking about local control in this idea of a nexus. Where does the responsibility and the control lie? Does it lie with these companies who are controlled by individual people who have rather disturbing views about what the world is going to be? Or do entities, democratic entities, can be self-determined in that space? And the idea of nexus is really, where does that nexus of where does it belong live? And right now it lives with those 6 or 7 people. And that's disturbing. And I don't see that, especially in the current environment, I don't see that changing, but it is important to talk about. So there are aspects of AI that I love. I love AI, but at the same time, I'm also terrified by AI.
Yeah, that reminds me of Careless People, the book about Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah, it's exactly that.
That made me a little nauseated.
Yes.
Okay, what did you read for fun?
What did I read for fun? I read The Long Island Compromise. That was my vacation read, and that was lovely. And so, completely separate from every aspect of my life. Delightful. And I'm still in the middle of Us Against You.
I'm reading that right now, too!
Oh, very nice!
It's my audiobook. Well, so I'm listening to it.
Yes, that's
I really
perfectly fine.
liked Beartown.
I did. There was a period in time that I thought we should make all of our undergraduate students read Beartown.
I can see
I'll
it.
be honest. It's very appropriate for Nebraska.
I had lots of questions about because one of the core themes is masculinity, and that was fascinating to me because I was like, oh,
yeah,
is that what it's like to be a straight boy?
In Beartown.
Ooh, in Beartown.
Yeah.
So speaking of Bachman, have you read My Friends yet?
Yes.
His new one?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, cried.
Yes. I mean, it is what he does. Page 5 of
I mean, I didn't cry on I didn't cry page 5, but
he triggers. I mean, he knows how to get straight into it.
He knows how to needle you, and totally
in the best possible way. Though.
Oh, it was so good, so good. So yes, that's one of my highlights. I'm currently reading. Have you read The Adventures of Cavalier and Clay?
No.
I feel like you might be into it.
Wait a minute. Yes, I have.
Okay.
It's a while back, though.
Oh, it's old. It's 2000, 2000, 99, something like that. I'm a backlog reader.
Yeah, that's fine.
But I am really enjoying that.
Yeah.
Not that I didn't think I would, but it just, I'm in the last fifth of it.
Yeah. So the magic of this summer, it is magical. That was not the magic of the summer.
That was not the magic of this summer.
That I'm actually reading on paper for the first time in about 7 years. Yeah.
Who are you?
I don't know. I'm reshaping myself. I'm reading on paper. I have real paper books on the side of my bed. I have not done that probably 7-8 years. The last book I read in paper, half of it in paper, was Americana, which was a fabulous book. But, yeah, I love it. It's good. I'm balancing. Okay, we need to move on to goals.
I'm sorry, but that's like I embrace.
It was one of the challenges, my
evolutions.
summer challenges.
Was to read more on paper.
To read on paper, to find enough focus to read on paper. And it did happen, and I think it's healthy. I also read on digital and I listen. It depends on the book. But yeah.
Yeah, see, outside of academic articles, I don't do much on digital. I am a paper guy.
Yeah,
I need a book.
That. Yeah, I know that, but I don't.
Like a physical book. I know, which is why I'm like, I read everything on a Kindle.
Yeah, well.
It's all on my phone.
My iPad mostly, because I'm too old for my phone. My phone is a standard issue iPhone 11, so
yeah,
and then it's too small.
I've also reached the point where prescription sunglasses have become necessary.
I'm just blind with my sunglasses. That's a choice too. I mean, I can see the road. I can't read with my sunglasses. Is what happens.
Like road signs?
I can read road signs. I can read anything that's more than 3 feet ahead of me.
Okay. All right.
But small print, not with my sunglasses.
Oh yeah, no. I also did the thing where everything is larger on all of my devices now because we're just embracing. This is...
And we have devices that can do that. I mean,
thankfully, what a privilege.
Yes.
What a delight. Okay, goals. What are your goals?
All right, so goals for this academic year, or maybe for the first 4 months, I have about 6 articles that need to be closed and shipped off. One or maybe 2 this week, and over the next few weeks, all of these are going out. So that's one goal. AI is really what I think about every day when I wake up and before I go to sleep, and sometimes in the middle. And so I'm trying to figure out where does AI fit, where doesn't it fit, and really the last few weeks I've started focusing on secondary products, so the products that are built on top of AI. And I'm finding some delightful solutions. We might talk about them, about some
delightful
episodes. So that's a real focus, and I need to figure out teaching online. You've figured that out. I've taught in person with AI, and I found it delightful and empowering and a great opportunity. But now I have to figure that out online. And so I'm teaching online this semester and trying to figure out where does it fit, how do we support that co-intelligence occurrence, how do you guide students through it, especially if some of my students may be a little bit apprehensive about AI, and rightfully so. We need to be careful and we need to be thoughtful. Optimistic. But at the same time, these are powerful tools that can really enhance what you can do. I'm teaching an intro to inquiry, so these are somewhat older students who have been teaching for a while and are coming into our program. So it's an opportunity to shape appropriate use and to give a lot of opportunities to try things out, and that's something that I'm grappling with in real time because AI is changing in real time.
Right. I've come to think about AI and my relationship with AI as a perpetual first state. Like, AI is sitting across from me, and it's like, oh, we could have a future, but you could also break my heart, you bastard. And so it's this like tension-filled, this could be everything, but it could also be nothing.
And the thing that I connected to what you said about figuring things out is that we really emphasize, in a lot of the conversations, we emphasize the ethical concerns of AI and the biases of AI. What I have started thinking about, and you mentioned that as well, is AI is biased because it's drawing on all of our internet. And everything we've written, we've always been biased. This is not going away. However, you can also use it to discern your bias and really inquire into your bias. So while you always need to suspect anything that AI produces, just like anything any other person produces, at the same time, you can ask it to be that voice that says to you, look at this from, I don't know, feminist critique perspective. I don't write from a feminist perspective. Sometimes I think from a feminist perspective, but AI can do that for me and can do that really, really well and point out those points. And I find that delightful as a way to very quickly do something that is incredibly hard to do when you're writing a piece, for example, and that is to provide the other voice, right? That's why you have a cranky ChatGPT, is because you need that other voice to corral and to make what you do better.
Cranky energy.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, so a really good, concrete, quick example of that.
Excellent.
One of the things that I loved doing this summer was after I did my first sweep through of feedback for everyone in children's literature, I anonymized all of their work and then did a bias check with ChatGPT.
Oh, wow.
Using the rubric to make sure that I was laying everything out the way that I should. I was being equitable in terms of the rubrics that I was playing with. And that was super, super humbling, but also like, oh, hey, awesome. Thank you for pointing these things out. And my feedback got better across the course of the semester. And so, yeah, it can totally help you. Yes, it does have bias, but so do human beings.
Yeah.
And so it's not any more biased than we are.
True.
But there's also opportunities for it to help you recognize and counteract those biases. So that's my concrete.
Yeah. And so
example.
we'll probably do an episode on that as well, because I'm really interested in hearing about how do you leverage AI in assessment without giving up the power of our decision making and our experience in informing our students.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah.
Add that to the calendar.
Adding it as we speak.
So you're thinking about AI.
I'm thinking about AI.
You're getting articles out.
Yes.
It's going to be fun.
And teaching. Yes.
And teaching.
Yeah.
Yes.
And probably writing a grant or two.
Oh, gosh. I'm exhausted for you.
I have a phenomenal group of graduate students who are incredibly dedicated and walk with me through projects. So, yes. And okay, go. You go. What are your goals?
Whoa!
No, there's something I want to keep for an episode, but I'm playing with an AI that helps do analysis, and I'm having the best of times. Best of times.
And worst of times now.
No, just the best of times.
Just the best. Oh, Charles Dickens is jealous.
Yes.
Okay, goals. My goals for this semester, and we'll talk about, yeah. Okay, so goals for this semester. 1, survive. Just survive.
Okay. Let's set the bar low.
I'm just setting it at adequate. That's not low, that's just adequate. That's literally what we're trying to do, because the world is burning, sometimes literally. So I'm just trying to keep above water, as, higher ed is crazy right now.
Yes.
It's crazy right now. And so trying to keep my head about me as we're thinking through these things is going to be important. I've got writing projects that I started in the summer that I'd like to finish. I've got writing projects I started that I need to finish.
That's a long time.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's fine.
That I need to finish. And I'm excited for... Here's the thing I always love about when I'm back on contract, like actual contract.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to expend so much energy planning out my time any longer. Because I know these are the meetings, these are the things, like like I don't have to continually schedule myself. So I do feel like I get a lot more productive in the fall and in the spring.
So you see, that's something that I don't struggle with, mostly because I schedule summer as if it's an academic semester for the most part.
Yeah, I take a summer.
I'm on contract.
You took a week.
I'm on contract.
I mean, that's also true.
I'm on contract, but I organize my time very much the same way I organize in the semester, and that is I have set meetings with people on different projects, and I just march through them. So it's less of a But you're talking about an unmoored feeling, and then feeling moored.
Not necessarily unmoored. Just there's when the typical academic contract starts, there's things that are there that weren't there. There's more structure that rather than like summers are fine, unstructured time. I have no problem filling that time.
Yeah.
However, it's having to always think about how to fill it is a little exhausting at times. But now that things are back, there's meetings, there's that works out really, really well for me. So I'm excited to dig back into projects. I've got some curricular redesign that I need to be doing as part of the elementary program. So that's going to be good. I'm currently, IRB is a pain in my rump. So I've got projects that I want to get started, and I'm wrapping up projects that I've been working on for a while. So it's going to be a good academic year. And I've got some big projects and small projects that I'm looking forward to making.
All right.
Some progress
on. I'm going to ask you a question we didn't plan on.
Okay.
A word of advice for faculty who are starting their semester on how to think about the academic year. You know, as everybody's excited and, you know, we have no assignments to read. Mine are coming tonight, but the first batch, but that's fine. What's the advice? How do you set yourself up for success for the academic year?
Slow your roll.
Okay.
Manage your expectations. Rome was not built in a day. IRB doesn't get approved after 3 revisions. So just making sure that the demands you're making of your own time are actually functional, right? Like you can say, oh, this is one of the things we know from research, and we've said it on this show before.
Yeah.
We are terrible at estimating how much time something is going to take.
Yes.
And there's always entropy. There's always someone's going to need something, someone's going to have a question, someone's going to interrupt your time. That's always going to happen. So like, yep, you're all excited. You feel like you have all of this time. Right now, spend your time setting up your structures. Because when things are crazy, those structures are what's going to save you and your sanity. So don't necessarily worry so much about like the action. Get your plan in place, and recognize that if you get half the stuff done that you think you're going to get done, you had a really successful year.
Yeah, we naturally set stretch goals and not really objectively reachable goals.
Yeah, and like hold yourself accountable to what time you have and time block.
Yeah.
What can you actually get done in that amount of time?
Yeah. Speaking of that, I'm time blocking my online class. Otherwise, I will do it after midnight. So.
Oh, I'm so proud of you.
Yes, I am going for it. Will that happen? Catch you at the end of the semester to see if I actually manage to do that.
But proud of you for like reading on paper.
Yes.
And time blocking.
Yes. What else is going to happen this?
I don't know.
Maybe I'll design curriculum. I don't know. Not probably not.
Okay.
It's not in my nature.
All right. So we've got a really fun season coming up. We've got lots of things to talk about, and we're looking forward to it. So, we will talk with you more about those things on future episodes. All the things on Not That Kind of Doctor.
Yeah.
Hopefully your semester's off to a good start.